Alright, the other video ended, so I guess this will be second one. Part 2. Welcome back. I don't know. Getting back to it though. Alright. Yes, we were at the food and drug thing. With the verb definition, you can even see that we are being drugged. You eat a bunch of food, you go into a stupor. If you stay aware and don't make justifications nor fall into illusions, you can notice that when you get the feeling of hunger, the addiction craving, or wanting a coffee, also addiction craving for caffeine, after you deal with stress or anything unhappy, that's actually connected and not two separate things. And although in this sentence I'm not even saying that it's like every time this happens, this is why, it is generally because of that or something else. You don't get hunger cravings, just you get them because you're addicted. It's not normal. You're not actually hungry. You don't need this shit. So yeah, if you stay aware and don't make justifications or fall into illusions, you can notice that when you feel these things, it's actually connected and not two separate things. I'm done holding my tongue around someone who's perpetuating all of my abuse. Stop or stop, but either way, I'm showing myself I love myself enough not to put myself into this bullshit and stop and stay dedicated to my health. Do with the information I pass along as you will. It's up to you. So she said, you realize that I pointed out that it's not a good way to start a conversation by telling the only person you're talking to that you don't want to talk to an agent of the state, and now you're literally cussing and yelling at me. Next message. I love you. That was it on her end. Did you read anything I just said? Did you actually take anything in? Or was it just, oh my god, she's cussing at me. Oh my god, she's my daughter and she just said the F word. Oh my god. Cussing means you're angry. Angry at me specifically. I don't even know what the fuck your train of thought is here. But it's bigger than just the argument, honey. I'm not trying to argue. I'm not. And I say honey like that because I'm actually on so many levels of anger right now. This is the shit I've been holding in. Oh my god. Anyway. So I responded, face your shit and don't bullshit me. Again, I went off. I just pointed out the ways you've been abusing me and yourself and you just brush it off and throw shit at me. Pointing out, oh, and this is the pettiest thing that I did in the conversation. I will completely admit that it's utterly petty. And the only reason I sent it was because of that. I said, I framed my message the same way she did that first one where it was assuming you didn't. So here you go. So I said, pointing out because assuming you didn't know that, especially since you do it every time I try to talk to you about this or me being depressed. So there you go. I came to you when I first started to let myself feel everything I'd bottled up for my entire childhood when I was 13 and told you how I was feeling depressed when you were tucking me in one night. And you said, no, I'm not, and left it at that even when I tried to explain what I could and come to you for fucking help because you created me and raised me in this and you brushed it off and did nothing. I came to you first after months of cutting myself. Maybe not first because I told you that I told them, so I don't know. I came to you after months of cutting myself. Because I'd been through actual attempts that didn't work, and the first thing you did was get mad at me because Pops could bring it up in court, and my physical health was already failing. My cavities, my dentist trips. that you couldn't afford, but you can go bankrupt over, or whatever the fuck, in debt over court, because that's not for me. That's not for me. It's for you. It's for you guys. And told you how I was feeling depressed when you were blah, blah, blah. I came to you first after months of cutting myself because I'd been through actual attempts that didn't work, and the first thing you did was get mad at me because Pops could bring it up in court, and my physical health was already failing. And as a broken, aching child, you blamed me for all of this as my mother, who was meant to nurture, care for, provide, protect, love, yada yada. You switched it around and blamed me without doing anything to help my mental or physical health, but be mad. Now this, nobody can quote me on this. This is just from my point of view, and I went through days here where I didn't get to talk to any of them because, see, this shit all hit me on so many personal levels when it happened, and I'll go into that after I finish reading these text messages. That's a whole other conversation. But yeah, according to him, it wasn't any big deal. It was only to get the feeling, and that escape, not to actually end it, but, considering it's not considering it wouldn't be the first time if it was, that's why I give a fuck. And the fact that regardless, from a parent's point of view, how do you not think about that when it happens right in front of you? And you're not doing anything else but punishing him. But anyways, and regardless, even if he was doing it for just that escape for the feeling, then clearly still something is fucking wrong. Anyway. So from my point of view, this is what I had been thinking for a while. But he tells me it's not. So I continue that after being mad at me and everything. Tag just attempted suicide to the point of an overnight trip to the hospital, and you brush it off as absolutely nothing, except again punishing the hurt person you created for trying to solve their problems or cope with their problems because he can't even heal with you. And yes, I know that when I talked to him, I said that it wasn't really my place to say that he couldn't heal with her, because I know that I don't know on the level of, like, I actually understand, I've been through this, I've been there, like, we are strong enough beings. I know in the general sense of, like, this can be, I just don't know how to get there yet, like, or, like, I haven't actually been there yet, is what I mean. So, we are strong enough beings. If he puts his mind to it and he actually wants to heal, he can do that there. It's just going to be even harder because he's still in that environment, and still with her, and still everything she's doing. And perpetuating. And saying it's okay. And blah, 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 blah. It's perpetuating, but yeah. So, can't even heal with you. Which, yes, you can, bro. You can. You're strong enough. You definitely fucking can. You just need to focus on your healing rather than everything else. And that would be hard as hell. Especially in that situation. Don't you dare try to keep telling me my wrongs when you can't face simple facts. Don't you dare believe that you love me or you love my brother when you hurt us and created us and blame us for it all. We tried to kill ourselves because of all of our shit. You brush it off. You blame us. Get that through your head. You created beings and raised them with pain and abuse till they couldn't heal without being thrown back 20 plus yards. So we stopped healing. And by that I mean, because if we were not even healed, just like regular healthy beings from the start, and we were just like, we had a healthy life and environment coming out of the womb, and being in the womb, because we're definitely fed all that unnatural stuff that the mother's eating or whatever. I don't know how that works, but if we had an actual, what should be normal and healthy life for humans, we wouldn't need to sit here and go through this healing stuff for years just to be okay at the end, of the healing journeys. But because of the constant, I'm not saying she's the only fucking thing that did this to me. I'm saying she was the big one perpetuating it, and one of the big people out of my two parents. They were both perpetuating it, both like enabling, doing things, So we stop healing. We're stuck trying to survive. So that's how we all start making those survival characters and those egos. We go to vices and copes to just keep living because otherwise because otherwise living is hell. And then we just want to fucking die because we can't get away with going to drugs or waking up in the morning and immediately, like I said, if it's not actually the definition of food, it's the definition of a drug. So drugging ourselves with ice cream or cereal or for breakfast to make ourselves insensitive to the things we hide from. So we try to die, and you were meant to care and nurture, and you just didn't. So I'm taking it into my own hands to do that for myself now. And before the vices and the copes, we came to you, the person we were meant to, the person who made us and raised us this way, the person we are told to go to. You, did, nothing. You did nothing. Her response, all of that, me calling her out for the shit she didn't do for me as a child, the shit she's still currently not doing for Tag, regardless of what it was, even if it wasn't suicide, it was still him trying to escape from shit. So he's clearly not still doing well. We're all clearly still not doing well. And her response is, you were certainly angry about a lot of things. I will say that I did everything I could / knew to do. Like I said, Patrick Tian says that it just means she didn't look at herself. So really, let me read this message. You're certainly angry about a lot of things. I will say that I didn't look at myself. Oh my god, that would actually be an admittance. I guess I can't read that because that's never something my mom's gonna say in this chain of text. She didn't say that at all. I'm not saying she'll never say that. Hopefully she does healing for herself and finds some things, and admits to things for herself. I don't care if she admits it for me because I'm gonna heal either way. You're certainly angry about a lot of things. I will say that I did everything I could / knew to do, but I hear that you feel I didn't. There's not much for me to say when you've already made your decisions. I love you. I said, and now I'm gonna preface this, if you're watching, don't get on a high horse, Pops. This don't mean nothing about you being any better than her. I'm just speaking the truth and saying what happened and what she did. So I said, you blame Pops my whole life. Don't lie to yourself. You didn't do everything you could. You never sat and healed. You literally blew off everything I just said. If you're doing everything you can, then why the fuck are Tag and I suicidal? Why did Tag just attempt suicide? He's under your care. There are no you did everything you could. There are no it's this person's fault. If you did everything you could, what are you doing for Tag? What are you doing right now for Tag, who just tried to drown himself in pills? You are selfish. You use us for care and love and doing things for you and pawns in court, no matter what you say, both of you. And you didn't do anything beneficial for us, anything fully truthful for us. Did you actually read anything? And I guess that called her out a little bit because she's just been answering with such short shit that just kind of acts like she hasn't been. So then she goes, and I feel like she started reading it there because she's like, oh shit, she noticed. So, or maybe she did read it before, but it's like in this message she starts answering shit from the very first long message. So, and starts it's a bunch of different little paragraphs. So when I start doing this, it'll be the next paragraph within the same message. But she starts answering longer here too. So one of these is a bunch of different paragraphs. It's basically just her listing shit off. And this might actually be the one because I just asked what she's actually doing. One of these things she's going to be listing off what she thinks she actually did for us. She said the way things ended up, the fact that you were suicidal, etc., none of that actually means that I didn't try. I wish everything I had tried had worked. Okay. But can you at least admit the fact that that still affected me? The fact that you didn't do anything, basically, because it didn't actually, like, even if you did something, it didn't do anything for my situation. So, and if you did something, it was generally for yourself in a actually know what retrospect means. So in reality, I mean, so yeah. So it would probably be hurting me if anything. So first thing, so I never used you guys for anything. Never. Oh, this shit pissed me off every time because she starts saying this every single time we have I start talking real. She said, I never used you guys for anything. I'm never sure where these particular accusations are coming from when they come out because they aren't coming from anything actually related to me. I'm gonna be honest, bitch, please. The fact that that's all you can say, okay. Maybe it's kind of obvious that you don't have anything to say against what I'm saying because it's not an argument, it's just stating the facts and truth of how things happen, and you can't invalidate my feelings and tell me this isn't. It's something that you can't actually tell me didn't happen because it's exactly what the fuck happened. I don't know. There's been so many times where you just tell me this shit didn't happen or whatever, but I guess it's because a lot of this stuff is actually documented in court too. So you could go back and look and see. It's like, I'm not lying right now. But the fact that she always says where these accusations are coming from, like she's literally told me before that she thinks that they're just coming from Pops because she's told me things about him, and I would just like, I fully trust this person. Trauma bonded to this person completely. 100%. You tell me anything, just like people are with the government right now, where they completely trust it, and it doesn't matter what the fuck they say. No, I'm with this person. It don't matter what you say. I'm gonna believe you, right? So she told me this stuff about my dad that I'm already scared of because of the different things that she manipulated me into believing my whole entire life. So then I go over to his house, or I go and talk to somebody, I don't know, and I'm just saying what my mom said, Because I mean, if that's the truth, then that's what I'm gonna just say, And right now, this truth is coming from nobody else outside of myself. It's coming from me. So I'm not just mirroring what anyone said. But yeah, she would try and tell me that this shit, that it was like and it was why I would be so confused all the time. It was like everyone was always telling me like, oh, I need to open my eyes and think for myself, but then they'd be telling me that, oh, this thing about them isn't real, or oh, this thing about the other person is true, or blah blah blah. It's like, okay, if you're telling me to like think for myself and this is what I'm saying I'm seeing, and then you're telling me it's not right, and then I'm just supposed to believe what you say, or I'm supposed to believe what I see. You can look at actions. Actions speak louder than words. That's the truest fucking statement you'll ever fucking hear. Because you can say you're healing all you want, you can lie to yourself and to everybody else, but if you're still sitting there perpetuating your own shit and not actually doing anything to heal yourself, I'm not talking about doing qigong and doing the modalities that cope with your life. I'm talking about actually doing the healing of looking inside and doing this shit. Being honest with yourself, reparenting yourself, and facing the feelings that you've been hiding for however fucking long. It doesn't matter if it's been 40, 60 years or 2 or 15. Like, take it upon yourself to care about yourself. So she said, third paragraph within this message, which makes it very hard to have anything to say other than I love you and I've always loved you and I've always tried, even in the face of failures, even in the face of failures, setbacks, and everything else. She makes it sound like she's going through like an adventure game, like she's my knight in shining armor and she's done so much, and like, that's what she thinks, I know, but I'm sorry, it's just not how it is. You were the dragon in that story, and I was supposed to be my own knight in shining armor, but you know what was? All the vices that I went to instead, everything that hid how I was feeling. Or, maybe I was just standing in front of it taking it because I am addicted to the abuse rather than actually hiding from any of that shit. Because, and I'm not saying like, ooh, in a kinky way, I'm saying like, just the fact that like people get addicted to the same feeling over and over again, just like it's a habit. Habits are addictions, habits get to be addictions. So fourth message, the strangest accusation is pawns in court, because I'm not sure, and yes, I know that is quote to quote something someone else has said, but that's also something I've seen both ends. You both can't say that the other person has done it without realizing that you have done it your fucking self. And I'm talking to my parents here. Because I'm not sure what you think I got out of court. Like, court was for you guys. We are in debt up to our eyeballs from court. Fifth paragraph. I love you, and I'm sorry you don't see it. My response. I'm not feeding into all the bullshit and the lies there. I'm saying, simple question. Give one example of how you helped. If you tried, what did you do? What are you doing? It's hard to have anything to say because all you want to do is blame, place, and deny, but you can't place the blame anywhere else, and you can't deny these things because they're the truth. I'm stating it all very clearly. It's not accusatory statements or accusations at all. It's very simple, actually. It's very simply the truth. Can't fight it? Because there's nothing to fight. Everything you've thrown at me is nonsense, and I've been explaining basic situations, actions, and dialogue that are filled with nothing but the truth and what has and is happening. I remember both the times I came to you for health so clearly that I can remember every detail of our environment in the moment and your exact words. You told me I wasn't depressed. You asked me why the fuck I told him I cut myself because they'd use it against you in court. You. Use it against you in court, not against me, not against my help and anything. Nothing about me, nothing about giving a fuck about what I just said. No, they're gonna use it against you. Sorry. Does that sound like doing anything for me? You brushed it off and acted like it was nothing. Does that help? Is that doing anything? Or is that being in denial? You yelled at me and made me feel worthless and like I should have tried harder when I did cut myself. Like I should have tried harder doing that and made me wish I never told you. Did that help me? Did that even help you? Next one. This is where she starts listing stuff off. She said, you know that I went into court and fought for you guys, that I got you guys therapists, etc. Okay. Pops did the same thing. The fighting in court wasn't for us, for one. And the therapy thing, like, I mean, the whole court thing was a show of vanity and savior shit and like who can be my knight in shining armor. And I'm not saying like everyone was trying to be my savior, but it's like neither of you were actually trying to provide a safe space. You were just trying to be better than the other one. Or whatever you were doing, whatever explanation, justification you want to give for it, it didn't help us ever. So you cannot say it was for us. Period, point, fucking blank. And if you don't understand that, look deeper into yourself. I'm not gonna explain it. So she said the next thing, I'm having this conversation with you right now. Okay, what kind of conversation is it? I'll get into that. Tag is in therapy, and he and I have conversations all the time. Oh my god, conversations about what? Um, oh, what's that show you're watching again? You watched it with me. Whatever show you're watching, like the toy you just got the baby. What poison you're gonna eat for dinner? The fact that he's doing something weird that you need to correct, but not actually help him with anything. That's your parenting. You'll correct us for stupid shit, but you won't actually help us when we come to you for actual help. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, great conversations, with me and him, definitely. And the therapy's definitely doing anything. I mean, a therapist, you space that is the root words, the rapist. Like, what are they raping my mind? I don't think they're actually helping anything. A lot of them just give copes. Are they gonna tell me to look inward? Are they gonna tell me to just sit there and breathe? I mean, that's a modality. Yes, breathing deeply is something we need to do, but that's not gonna help me heal. It's just gonna be a coping mechanism. And what's gonna happen one day when that doesn't help? Just like once I get too numbed up from having too much of this one snack and that doesn't do anything anymore, and I just go to having more or to the next one or the strongest thing. You know, coping mechanisms are only gonna save you for a little bit. Oh, and this one really got me. She said, I have loved you guys without requiring you to be what I want or even to treat me a particular way. Both of those things, the one I'll touch on, but the other one, I don't think I even pointed out, but the fact that she treat me a particular way, I don't even know why she brought that up other than the fact that it's clearly something that she's done. I didn't even think about that. Like, yeah, you definitely wanted me to treat you in a specific way. I mean, you're even getting upset when I'm cursing and she's still and I'm a full-grown adult, and yeah, maybe that's because it's aggressive, or maybe it's because it's the fucking truth and I have some feelings about it and I want to tell you because you weren't getting it when I was calmly telling you that I'm feeling this way, because then you'd feel that way and you get angry. So, yeah. I point out things like, oh, the next thing. I point out things like earlier because when you do something. Oh, yeah, and this is her answering again one of the earlier messages when I had said something about her not parenting me anymore because I'm an adult. She said, she later on, way after all those other messages, she says, I point out things like earlier because when you do something like that with me as your mom, I can sit in a place of love and respond. But if you do that with other people, you could end up losing friends or having arguments and not understanding why. That is showing love and doing something. No, that's the explanation right there even is trying to make me completely tied to you and trauma bonded. Like, oh my god, you're the only one who's gonna keep caring, and you're the only one who's gonna show me the truth and tell me honestly and not leave me if I do something stupid. Oh my god. Like, thank you, mother. You love me so much. No, 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 no. That is awful. That's abusive. That's manipulation. And yes, maybe she didn't. Well, actually, she did hit me in the face, but maybe she wasn't constantly physically abusing me like a lot of people go through, but she's mentally manipulating me constantly, trying to. And I'm calling it out because otherwise it's just gonna program me. You know? What's a conversation to you? Because we aren't discussing anything. You're just defending and justifying abusing us and yourself. You're not coming from a place of love. You're coming from a place of fear. You ain't love us. Oh, and this is when I get really pissed off because, like I said, that one really pissed me off when she said, I have loved you guys without requiring you to be what I want or even to treat me a particular way. I said that really pissed me off. And it did, so I started talking a little differently. I said, you ain't love us when we weren't what you wanted. You looked at me with disgust and told me I'm just like my father so many times. I'm coming from a place of love for myself by finally not holding my tongue around you, finally not perpetuating my own abuse and torturing myself. I'm not sure why you would think I'm coming from a place. Oh, and this is her response. Sorry. She said, I'm not sure why you would think I'm coming from a place of fear other than you've decided a lot about who I am. And the next message was, okay. And that's how she always ends the conversations, with just the O and then the K, because normally she spells out okay, like OKAY, but when she's just done or just not having it in the middle of a conversation even, she'll just say O and then the K. Like, she's so petty. Like, I'm sorry. What the fuck? Like, what, do you not have time to spell out the last, like, AY? Are you just leaving now? Hi. But you can send the send button still. Okay. And so, yeah, like, I knew that was gonna be the last thing that she said, but I'm still responding to the last shit. Like I said, I'm calling this shit out. So I said, nobody knows who you are. You don't even, because you're too scared to look and face it, and that's exactly what I mean. It's not my job to make you change or heal or anything, so I want you to know that I'm not telling you the truth now. That I am telling you, the truth now and on, because that's what I can do. Stop playing into your bullshit and acting like it's all fine, because this was never fine. If you want to have a real conversation with me, and regardless of how much you tried, you still fucking abused and affected me. So when you're ready to face that, I'm here. When you're ready to be real, I'm here. Until then, I'm calling shit out. And even when you do come to me, I'm still going to be truthful and call shit out. I'm not going to be sitting here and letting you manipulate me or perpetuate things or lie to my face anymore. I'm old enough that I don't have to deal with that because I'm not living in the life anymore. Yeah, and then after that, she didn't respond, and then the next day she sent me these, like, random things, like, there's probably arsenic, and, like, these articles of, like, there's probably arsenic in your seasonings, and, metals in your hot cocoa. Like, did you not just read the messages I sent about all the cooked food, sugar, artificial shit, and meat? Like, I'm not gonna eat that stuff anyway, so I don't know why the hell you're sending me these random articles other than to just randomly send propaganda and bullshit to me like you normally do. But so then I was like, and I was thinking about sending her some more things, but I didn't know if she was gonna just not look in the chat thing anymore. After that conversation with that okay and everything and not responding. So no, but then she sent that and I was like, okay, well I guess she is. So then I sent her one of Unk's videos. It's talking about the trauma bonding and everything, because I got a lot out of it, and I think she would too, and a little bit more understanding about where I'm coming from maybe too with it. And then I sent her, like, screenshots of a comment that was on there too, I think. And yeah, she didn't respond to that. She hasn't sent anything out since, but I did talk to Tig yesterday and figured out that this whole week he's heard from her about what happened during that conversation and whatever she's saying about it. So I read him the whole conversation so that he can actually have his own opinion on it. And I know I gave my own opinion and my feelings, of course, while I was doing it, but sometimes I really can't help holding that shit in anymore. Like, but yeah, I wanted him to actually have his own opinion on shit. And so I was letting him know when I was saying my opinion and the truth, like, that shit it's definitely separate. And wanted him to make his own opinion, and actually his own opinion, not be there telling him, oh, you made your own opinion about me? That's not right. Or you made your own opinion on them? That's too nice. This is what the actual thing is. Like, I'll call him out when he says something, like, about one of them that actually goes a little deeper or something, but it's not like I'm telling him he's completely wrong. Then I go into explaining what I mean and everything and actually have an intelligent conversation with him. I have conversations asking him. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna go into that. I don't need to have a whole who's actually there for who conversation or argument or competition. That's not why I do them. But yeah, bro, I do think that you can still heal. I know I said that message to her, but you can definitely still heal. You have that power. Like I said, you can try writing. You can start making these videos. Anybody who's watching this can do that. I mean, anybody in general can do that. I mean, as long as you can write and maybe talk. Anyway. everyone can look inward and have thoughts, intelligent thoughts. So that much anyone can do. I'm gonna send myself something else because I think I wrote something separate from that. Yeah.